Howdy y'all, we are looking at our next lesson here in pre-algebra. This is lesson 77. It is on right circular cylinders. Now we've already worked with circles, we've learned about circumference and area. We're going to be using that here today. We're going to be moving into the third dimension though. A cylinder is, like a can or a bucket or something like that. That's what a cylinder is. And we're going to learn two things with cylinders today. We're going to learn how to find volume, which is the amount of space inside of the cylinder. And we're also going to learn surface area, which is just the area of the entire outside. And there's two different ways we work these out because they're two different things. But if you just know the steps, they're very, very easy because it's just using stuff we already know. Now, first of all is volume. Volume is the simpler one. Volume for most shapes, for right now anyway, is going to stay pretty much the same. You can always kind of count on it being area of the base, which we usually just say is the bottom, times the height. So we're going to work that one out first. Now, they don't give different example 1, example 2 in this lesson. Instead, I'm just taking the picture from the middle of page 217, and I'm going to work out volume for it, and then also surface area. So this is what it looks like in that picture. We have a cylinder, its base, which by the way, on a cylinder, the top and bottom can both be considered the base. They're always both exactly the same thing. We've got the base here, which is a circle. We have the height right here, which is 20. And so for volume, we always do the area of the base times the height. In this case, the base is a circle, and we want to find the area of that circle. Now, to find the area of a circle, we do pi, which we use 3.14 times radius squared. And remember, radius is the distance from the middle to the outside. So right here, they tell us the radius is 3. So we're going to do pi times 3 squared, and that will give us our area. And then we're going to multiply that by the height, which is 20. So that's going to give us volume, pi times radius squared times height. Now remember, you always do an exponent first, so we're going to do that 3 squared first. 3 times itself, of course, is 9. We're then going to do 3.14 times 9, and we're going to get 28.26. And then we're going to multiply by the height, 20, and we are going to get 565.2. Now, these measurements are usually given in certain things. In this case, it's in meters. So we would say our volume is 565.2 cubic meters. Now, that's the easy one because it's always that specific formula. You find the area of the top or bottom, whichever one it may be, the base, multiply it by the height. Surface area is always a little bit more work, especially for a cylinder here. Notice it says surface area is going to be the area of the top. Well, that part's easy because we just figured it out. Plus the area of the bottom, which is going to be the exact same thing because the top and bottom are the same, plus the area of the side. That's where things are going to get a little tricky, and I'll show you why in just a minute. But let's start off with the area of the top. We did that a minute ago. It was pi times 3 squared, which, let's just double check it. I believe it was 28.26. It was. So the area of the top, 28.26. Plus, the area of the bottom is also a circle, exactly the same size, 28.26. And then, like I said, things get a little tricky here on the side because a cylinder, when you think about it, a cylinder is basically a rolled up rectangle. Here's a piece of paper I just rolled up. I made a cylinder. If I put a circle on the bottom and a circle on the top, it would be a complete cylinder. But the side, as you can see, it's just a rectangle that has been rolled into a circle. So when we're finding the area of the side here, really what we're doing is finding the area of a rectangle. And a rectangle is always length times width. Well, we know the width of this rectangle is 20. They don't tell us the length, but we can figure it out because, again, think about it. If we're taking this rectangle and we're rolling it up in a circle, then that means the length of the rectangle is actually the same as the circumference of the circle that we roll it up into. So to find length of our rectangle, we have to find circumference of our circle. And circumference of a circle is similar to area but instead of pi times radius squared, we do pi times diameter. And if we have a radius of 3, the diameter is always double that, so the diameter would be 6. So we would do pi times 6, and we get a circumference of 18.84. That's actually the same as if we unrolled it into a rectangle. That would be the length of the rectangle, 18.84. So we're going to do 18.84 times 20, which will give us the area of that rectangle that's curled up to make the side. And that gives us 376.8. So what we got to do is we got to add all three of those numbers together, and that will give us the total surface area, 433.32. And again, it's in meters. Since it's area, it's square meters. Now, in your book, they actually give a slightly, it's the same answer, but they give it in a different way. They give it as 138 times pi, which is actually the same thing as what we got, okay? I don't like to put pi as my answer. I just multiply it out and get that. So they did it a little bit differently in the book, but it's just a different form that the answer is given in. So 433.32 square meters. There are a couple practice problems there that would be good for you to do, and then go ahead and work on those 30 in the problem set. See y'all in the next lesson.